Hi, welcome to Vegetables. My name's Angela. I guess I forgot to tell you that in all the other videos. But my name's Angela and it is day 23. So, good things to report. The first one is that no out to eat food today. I made breakfast, lunch, and dinner. All 3 meals today. And the next few days are going to be crappy weather, so I fully expect to be making the meals there for them those days as well. It's just going to be a matter of getting into the habit. But I also think that it's because last night I planned exactly what I was going to eat, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And since I did that, it made it much easier to stick to it. So menu planning definitely helps. You know, you don't even have to do like a whole month at a time or a whole week at a time. Just the night before, or the day before, take some time to figure out what it is you're going to eat the next day. Find the recipes the day before. Make sure the day before that you have all of the ingredients to make the recipes and get it all prepared. So then the next day, if you get too busy, you don't have to think about it. It's already done. So, what did I have today? For breakfast, I had shredded hash brown potatoes, and I did cook them in some oil, which I need to get away from that, but you know, baby steps. So shredded hash brown potatoes, and to the potatoes I added, as usual, bell peppers and onions. But today I also added spinach. So yay, 2 servings of vegetables for, well, 3 if you count the potatoes. 3 servings of vegetables for lunch. Breakfast. I did add approximately the equivalent of 3 whole eggs, but it was just egg whites. And I topped it with a little bit of cheese. I say a little bit. Usually I just pile it on, but I was conservative for me. And I had that with some whole wheat toast, buttered with avocado oil. Plant butter is what it's called. It's by, I believe, Pure Essentials. It's one of my favorites. But it doesn't have any hydrogenated oils, and that's what's really important to me, is that, you know, that it doesn't have the oils where they take it and then they hydrogenate them artificially, because those are really bad for you. And then of course I had my usual cup of coffee, and I put the coconut milk in first with just a splash of the half and half. So then for lunch I did okay. I had a can of creamy chicken noodle soup and a small bowl, a small salad. The salad was the American blend that has butter lettuce, iceberg, carrots, radishes. Of course, it only had 1 radish in it, but carrots and red cabbage. And I put 2 slices of cucumber on that, and a little bit more cheese. But again, I just a sprinkling for me. What is just a sprinkling? And it's, you know, definitely something that I plan on working to completely eliminate. Just like with my dressing now. You know, when I first started eating salad, I would just pour it and pour it and pour it. But now I almost like the salad without dressing. Just a moment. Sorry. I'll explain the shirt here in a minute. Um, but now, like I said, the last time I measured my salad dressing, and I put 2 tablespoons of dressing on my salad, it was way too much. So I just have it there as a compliment. So I'm really proud about that. But after I ate that, I finished my dessert from last night. So it was a fourth of the cookie. The cookie was about this big total. So, a little personal. If you ever had a personal pan from Pizza Hut, it was about that size. But it was a chocolate chip cookie. And I had a fourth of that. And then I did finish off the ice cream. So it was about half a scoop. And the chocolate syrup. And it was probably not even a tablespoon. But we'll say a tablespoon. So, not great, but oh, darn, that means I did have out to eat food. Shoot. But I didn't buy any more. So, does that count? Maybe? Please? Hopefully? You can tell I have a very weird sense of humor. But, not too bad though. Vegetables. 2 meals. This is going really good for me. And then about, 5:30, 6 o'clock, I was getting really weak. I wasn't necessarily hungry. I didn't think I was, but I was just really tired and really weak. So I figured it was probably time for dinner, but I was too exhausted to make dinner. So, okay, I need a snack. I had a package of Ritz peanut butter crackers. It was enough to get me up and going. And for dinner, I had a baked potato in the Instant Pot, along with boneless, skinless chicken breasts cooked in the Instant Pot with barbecue sauce. And then I just opened up the potato, and this potato was like this big. It's a pretty big potato. But I opened that potato up, I didn't even put salt or pepper on it. I just opened it up, sprinkled maybe a quarter cup of cheese on it. Yeah, I know, cheese. And I did put about 2 tablespoons of sour cream on it. And then I just put the chicken on top of that. Sounds gross, but it was delicious. And the breast was probably about 6 to 7 ounces. And that's it for eating today. So maybe not necessarily 100% health food, but definitely has to be better than going out to eat to a restaurant and fast food, because that meant, if you count the potatoes, I had a vegetable at every single meal today. Yes. Hence, vegetables for the name of the channel. Because that's my goal, is to incorporate vegetables in every single meal. Okay, so just a quick thing about this shirt. I know it looks kind of childish, but this is Harlow. Her nickname is Hippo. And she is a service dog whose owner passed away. The channel's called Chronically Jackie. And sadly, May of 2019, she did pass away from her chronic illnesses. But she sold these shirts with a caricature of her service dog to help support the Ehlers-Danlos Foundation. I think that's what it's called. so that you could raise awareness and such about that medical condition, which is one of many that she had. And then I did weigh myself today. This morning it was 240.3, and this evening it was 244.5. So, not very uncommon for, to be a 5-pound difference from morning to night. Especially since, morning you have an empty stomach, afternoon you have a full stomach, or you've, a full day of eating. Plus, instead of having lightweight pajamas, you have heavier clothes, like shorts, pants, and all that other stuff. I did take my shoes off today, though. The only other thing I wanted to talk about today, though, is something that I need to update, but have done for many years. And that is what I call a medical resume. Now, one of my friends that I went to school with, she is an EMT. And she made a post on Facebook today about if you have a chronic condition, and somebody asks you if you have a medical history, don't say no. Tell them what you have. Even if you're taking medication and you're not having any symptoms, you still have the medical condition. And her example was, if you have high blood pressure and then the doctor puts you on blood pressure medicine and the medicine is controlling your blood pressure, you still have hypertension. You haven't cured your hypertension. It's just being treated. And that's one thing that I have to remember about me, though, is that even though I'm not currently on any medication, I have not been cured of chronic lymphocytic leukemia. I still have it. It's just sleeping at the moment. And she did suggest, having, if possible, having something written down somewhere in an easily accessible place so that if emergency personnel need to know that information, it's readily available. My guess is that something happened today on the job that had information like that been available, it would have, maybe resulted in a better outcome for whomever she was helping. But what do I include on my medical resume? I know it's more medical history, but it's kind of along the format of a resume. I have it printed out, and I have it in an envelope in my purse marked medical information, so that if I have any emergencies where somebody else is not available to tell them what's going on, it's right there available with me. And my husband used to be a volunteer fireman and went on basic life support calls. And he did confirm that if somebody's in a medical emergency situation, the first thing that EMTs will do, and he has himself done, is they will go through a woman's purse. Or if it's a man, like the car or such, the glove box, just to see if they can find medications. So, what do I include? First and foremost, at the top of the very first page, I have my name, my address, my telephone number, my date of birth. The next thing I list is my emergency contacts. I put 3. I put You know, you need to have at least three. I would say, say at least three. I could include a couple others, but right now I just do three. I do my husband, my daughter, and my son. Am thinking about adding my stepdaughter. I don't know, but at least three. I would recommend at least three. The next thing that I include, okay, and with emergency contacts, I include name, relationship, address, and telephone number. The next thing that I have listed are all of the physicians that I'm currently seeing. I have their name, their specialty, their address, and their telephone number. The next items on my list are all of my medications. Of course, the name of the medication, and if it's a generic to a name brand, make sure you use the generic. For instance, I take the generic for Singulair and I take the generic for Pyridium. Even though I might call them Singulair and Pyridium when I'm talking, because that's easier to say than the actual names. On my medical resume, it does give the generic name. It gives the dosage and how often I take it. The next item on the list are all of my allergies. And that includes not just allergies to medicines, but also sensitivities or things that I need to avoid, such as the citric acid, such as when I was taking the cancer medicine, I had to avoid Seville oranges, grapefruit, and St. John's wort. Along with the medicine, I will give what reaction I have. So for instance, I'm allergic to C-chlor. I don't have anaphylactic shock. I just get completely red and itchy from head to toe. So, it would be like rash and itching. The next item on my list is going to be, it would either be, what would probably be my diagnoses. Everything that I have been diagnosed with. And that's where, what my friend was talking about is that even though you no longer suffer from the condition, it's still a part of who you are. My example would be that I used to suffer from polycystic ovarian syndrome. Well, I have my ovaries removed, so I no longer suffer from it, but I still put it on there. Because, it's again a part of my medical history. After my diagnoses, I then list all of the surgeries that I've had. And to the best of my knowledge, I try to put the month and the year, but I definitely at least will put either the year that I had it or the age. I used to put where the surgery was performed, but I've never ever really needed that information for quite a long time. So, I don't put that on. But I will, if I know the information or remember the information of the doctor that performed the procedure, I will put that. Especially if I am no longer seeing that doctor. And then, and I know seems like it's a lot of information, but when you're talking about your life and making sure that you get the best care, it's very valuable information to have. And I'm trying to remember if there's anything else I put on there. And how I came to the conclusion of what to put on this medical information sheet is basically based on what a lot of doctors ask you when you go to a first visit. It saves me a lot of time, because on most of, I'll go through the information sheet, and especially the medications, because I can never remember off the top of my head. I can never remember all of them. But I will let you know, when I get to the medication, I'll say, please see attached, so I don't have to copy them all down. Now, other thing I forgot to note is, when you list your medications, make sure you list things that you take every day. Take those that you take occasionally, even if it's only, once a month or once every other month. Those are called PRN, as needed. Also include any supplements that you're taking. Because, you never know when a doctor might want to give you a medication, and if you don't have all those medications listed, when the pharmacy fills that prescription, they won't be able to see if there's any kind of interaction. Okay, sorry. Had to go help my husband. You probably heard Alexa go off in the background. Where was I? So I was talking about, make sure you list everything, even if you only take it occasionally. I have one medication that I get renewed once a year, and I just have it in case I need it. Sometimes I don't even use it at all. Okay, and I'm thinking that that's about all of the information that I place on that document. But it has definitely come in very handy. I take it everywhere when I go to the doctor. I use it to fill out their forms. But even more important is, I have to make sure that I update it regularly. Every time, I have a change of medication, if I find out I have new diagnoses, a new allergy, you have to update it so that, again, if there's something were to happen, you have the most accurate, up-to-date information. It could save your life. It really could. So that's it for today. I hope you find this very informational and useful. And then please, leave some comments to see, say, hey, do you have one of these? Do you carry one of these around? If you do, how has it helped you? And then hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when a video uploads every day. And, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Thank you for watching.